What's up, everybody? It's Raphael, and I hate people. Last episode of the Bible. What was that? Episode 8. I'm losing count. I don't know, but I'm proud that I'm keeping up with it and everything. I think it was episode 8. We did chapters 33 through 34. I gotta say, this is one of my favorites so far. It's one of my favorites so far. I like, I don't know, it's something about revenge that just do something to me, you know? Jacob's sons, I think Simeon and Levi. Woo! Let's get into it. You're right. Let's get into it. Chapter 32. After Laban kissed his grandchildren and his granddaughters, his grandchildren and his daughters, and blessed them, he went on about his way, right? And then we started in chapter 32. Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. Jacob sent messages. So when Jacob met the angels, he said, "This is the camp of God." So he named that place Mahanaim. I still don't know how to say it. But after that, Jacob sent his messengers ahead to his brother Esau to say, "Your servant Jacob been staying with Laban till now." And he's basically trying to see if it's safe to come home or not. You know what I mean? So he sent his servants ahead. And let's see. And he told he told his servants to tell him that he has cattle, donkeys, sheep, goats, and male and female servants. So he's like trying to give a peace offering, just let me come home. And the messengers returned to Jacob, and they said, "Your brother Esau is coming with 400 men." Esau coming deep. Scared poor Jacob. Jacob divided the people that was with him into two groups. If Esau attacks, this is his words, if Esau attacks one group, the group that is left may escape. And so he's trying to make as many people as he can safe and free. Then after that, Jacob prayed, "Save me from the hand of my brother Esau." That's what he wants. I want to live. I want my people to live. Let us make it. So anyway, Jacob sent his people ahead. He sent his wives, his children, his servants, everybody. He sent all of his possessions ahead. And Jacob was left alone. Let's see. And a man wrestled with him till daybreak. I don't know what that's about. If you know, let me know in the comments. I don't know what that was about. It says, so Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. This is in chapter 32, verse 24. But yeah, let's go into that. So when the man saw that he could not overpower Jacob, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Still don't know what that means. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." I don't know. Anyway, the man asked him, "What is his name?" Jacob answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." The stranger just renamed Jacob Israel. But whatever. Anyway, excuse me. Whew. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so Jacob looked up. He saw Esau with his 400 men. He bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. Esau embraced him. So Esau is either really not mad or Esau is plotting something. Don't know for sure what it is yet. But yeah, Esau embraced him, and he hugged and kissed him, and they wept together, and they caught up. He asked who are these people with him. And Jacob was like, "These are my wives, these are my children, these are my servants, this is the cattle, this is this is that," And Esau asked, "What's the meaning of all the flocks and herds I met?" Because Jacob had sent his messengers with, herds of cattle and stuff as the peace offering. And Jacob said, "To find favor in your eyes, my lord," he said. Esau said, "I already have plenty, my brother." I don't know if he's serious or not still, but I really appreciate the fact that he, let it go. If he did let it go. And he told him to keep what you have for yourself. And Jacob insisted, so Esau accepted it. And Esau said, "Let us be on our way." But Jacob said, "Let my lord go ahead of his servant while I move along slowly at the pace of the flocks." Because, I don't know if it's exactly what he said, but basically he's saying if he push his cattle and his children too hard, they won't make it. So he want to go at his own pace. So, Esau said, "Then let me leave some of my men with you." But Jacob didn't want that either. But at the end of the day, Esau started on his way back home to Seir, Seir. Jacob, however, went to Sukkoth, Sukkoth, where he built a place for himself and made shelters for his livestock. So Jacob's plan, I guess, is to not go straight home because he's still scared. I don't know exactly why he did that, but that's what he did. Now, Dinah, Jacob's daughter, the one born from Leah, went out to visit the women of the land. So she wants to go see the sights and have a little fun, this and that, right? But this nigga, Shechem, I hope I'm saying that right, Shechem, Shechem, I guess. He saw her. Shechem is the son of Hamor the Hivite, the ruler of that area. Shechem saw her, and he took her and raped her. It's a shame. It's a shame. But so Shechem said to his father Hamor, "Get me this girl as my wife." So he did take her, but he's like fascinated with her or whatever. He really wants to have her and keep her. And Jacob's sons had heard what had happened. And see, this is where it gets to where I like it. Now, I was confused at first because as I read, I'm like, why this, why that? But here we go. They heard what had happened. They were shocked and furious. Hamor said to them, "Intermarry with us. Give us your daughters and take our daughters for yourselves. Settle among us." So, let's be one people. Let's, everybody be open to everybody. Excuse me, I had just finished working out. I'm trying to knock everything out as fast as I can. So Shechem said, "Make the price for the bride as great as you like." He's like, money's no object, or whatever trade is no factor, I guess. I can do it. I'll pay. I want her. Where we at? Okay, so Jacob's sons replied deceitfully, "Yeah, we can't give our sister to a man who is not circumcised. Become like us by circumcising all your males." And during this, I'm like, what? Nigga, what does that have to do with anything? But then I kept reading. And every male in the city was circumcised, right? 3 days later, while all of them were still in pain, Simeon and Levi, these are the two sons of Jacob, who were brothers of Dinah, or Dinah. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Either way, Simeon and Levi took their swords and attacked while these people were still in pain from the circumcision. I know what that's like. I still think I would have survived, though. I don't know, though, because, I mean, circumcision back then probably was super painful compared to circumcision now. I had a late one, like, TMI. I was like 12, 13. Anyway, yeah. Simeon and Levi, by themselves, attacked, took them out. They killed every male in the city. Them boys cold, boy. That's all I'm saying. That, to me, makes this story my favorite so far. Revenge. I love it. Don't you ever touch anybody in my fucking family. I'll take all y'all out. Anyway, so they killed every male. They put Hamor and his son Shechem to the sword and took Dinah from Shechem's house and left. Jacob, scary ass. I'm now to the point where I don't like Jacob. Scary nigga. Your sons had to do this. You didn't do shit. Scary ass nigga. Anyway, Jacob said to his sons, Simeon and Levi, you have brought trouble on me by making me obnoxious to the people living in this land, the Canaanites and the Perizzites. It's understandable, I guess, but at the same time, my nigga, that was your daughter, nigga. That was your fucking daughter. Fuck all that. Fuck them. He said, if they join forces against me, I and my household will be destroyed. But Simeon and Levi, them live ass niggas, they was like, should he have treated our sister like a prostitute? Like, what you want us to do? Just let him have her? Nah, we ain't riding like that. We ain't riding like that. And that was the end of chapter 34. We finna start chapter 35. Hopefully I can make it to chapter 40 and end it there. Like, read chapter 39 and stop there. So let's dive in. Chapter 35. Then God said to Jacob, go up to Bethel and settle there and build an altar there to God who appeared to you. These punctuations killing me. To God who appeared to you when you were fleeing from your brother Esau. Let me read that again. Then God said to Jacob, go up to Bethel, Bethel, and settle there and build an altar there to God who appeared to you when you were fleeing from your brother Esau. Okay, I get it. Dang, that was just one verse? Verse 2. So Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, get rid of the foreign gods you have with you and purify yourselves and change your clothes. Then come, let us go up to Bethel, where I will build an altar to God who answered me in the day of my distress and who has been with me wherever I have gone. Excuse me, y'all. My mouth is... dry. Okay. Verse 4. So they gave Jacob all the foreign gods they had and the rings in their ears, and Jacob buried them under the oak at Shechem. Then they set out, and the terror of God fell on the towns all around them, so that no one pursued them. Jacob and all the people with him came to Luz, L-U-Z, that is Bethel. Luz is Bethel. And yeah, they came to... Let's just start that over. Jacob and all the people with him came to Luz in the land of Canaan. There he built an altar, and he called the place El Bethel, because it was there that God revealed himself to him when he was fleeing from his brother. Now Deborah, Rebecca's nurse, died and was buried under the oak outside Bethel. So it was named Elon Bakuth. These names. After Jacob returned from Padan Aram, God appeared to him again and blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Jacob, but you will no longer be called Jacob. Your name will be Israel." So he named him Israel. And God said to him, "I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and increase in number. A nation and a community of nations will come from you, and kings will be among your descendants. The land I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I also give to you, and I will give this land to your descendants after you." Why do they keep repeating themselves in this shit? Anyway, dang it, I lost myself. Okay. The land I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I also give to you, and I will give this land to your descendants after you. Then God went up from him at the place where he had talked with him. 14. Jacob set up a stone pillar at the place where God had talked with him, and he poured out a drink offering on it. He also poured oil on it. 15. Jacob called the place where God had talked to him Bethel. Why are we repeating? 16. Then they moved on from Bethel while they were still some distance from Ephrath, I guess, Ephrath. Rachel began to give birth and had great difficulty. And as she was having great difficulty in childbirth, the midwife said to her, "Don't despair, for you have another son." 18. As she breathed her last, for she was dying, she named her son Ben-Oni, Ben-Oni. But his father named him Benjamin. Okay, so Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Killing me. Ephrath is Bethlehem, according to the parentheses. Over her tomb, Jacob set a pillar, and to this day that pillar marks Rachel's tomb. I wonder where that at. Anyway, oh well, if you go somewhere in Bethlehem, we'll find out. Israel. Okay, so we call him Israel now. Wow. From out of nowhere. Verse 21, chapter 35. Israel moved on again and pitched his tent beyond Migdal, 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 Eder. 22. While Israel was living in that region, Reuben went in and slept with his father's concubine, Bilhah, and Israel heard of it. Excuse me, y'all. Y'all know I can't read. Whew. Jacob had 12 sons. What? We just went from Israel to Jacob. To Israel to Jacob. Keep reading. Jacob had 12 sons. The sons of Leah, Reuben, the firstborn of Jacob, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. Let's just say that, Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Rachel's servant, Bilhah, Dan, Naphtali. The sons of Leah's servant, Zilpah, Gad, and Asher. Just want to remind us who was whose, because Reuben, Leah's son, went in and slept with his father's concubine, Bilhah. Bilhah is the son of Rachel's servant. What? Oh, Bilhah is Rachel's servant. My bad. I read that wrong. Bilhah is Rachel's servant. So, Reuben went and slept with Rachel's servant, Bilhah. Got it. Let's go. So, These were the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Padan Aram. Jacob came home to his father Isaac in Mamre near Kiriath, Kiriath, Kiriath Arba. That is Hebron, also known as Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had stayed. Isaac lived 180 years. Then he breathed his last breath and died, and was gathered to his people old and full of years. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. That's the end of chapter 35. Excuse me, y'all. That workout got me. All right, chapter 36. This is the account of the family line of Esau. That is Edom. Let's keep reading. Esau took his wives from, okay, so I guess we're going back and we're gonna, pick up where Jacob had left. And we're gonna see what Esau has been doing. Let's see. Esau took his wives from the women of Canaan, Adah, Adah, daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Oholibama. That's an ugly name. Oholibama, daughter of Anah, Anah, and granddaughter of Zibeon the Hivite. Also Basemeth, daughter of Ishmael, and sister of Nebaioth. Adah bore Eliphaz to Esau. Basemeth bore Reuel, Reuel, and Oholibama. That's Oholibama is spelled Oholibamah. Oholibama bore Jeush, Jeush, Jalam and Korah. These were the sons of Esau who were born to him in Canaan. Esau took his wives and sons and daughters and all the members of his household, as well as his livestock and all his other animals and all the goods he had acquired in Canaan, and moved to a land, and moved to a land some distance from his brother Jacob. Their possessions were too great for them to remain together. The land where they were staying could not support them both because of their livestock. So Esau settled in the hill country of Seir. This is the account of the family line of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in the hill country of Seir. Verse 10. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Esau's wife Adah, and Reuel, the son of Esau's wife Basemeth. The sons of Eliphaz, Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Esau's son Eliphaz also had a concubine named Timnah, Timna, Timnah, who bore him Amalek. These were grandsons of Esau's wife Adah. The sons of Reuel, Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were grandsons of Esau's wife Basemeth. The sons of Esau's wife Oholibama, sounds right to me, daughter of Anah and granddaughter of Zibeon, whom she bore to Esau. Jeush, that one's killing me. Jeush. Jeush. Either way, Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. These were the chiefs among Esau's descendants. The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau, Okay, so this is the list of the sons of Eliphaz. Um, Chiefs, it's spelled Chiefs, Chiefs. I don't know. Chiefs Teman, Teman. Chiefs Teman. Uh, Omar, Zepho, Kenaz, Korah, Gatam, and Amalek. These were the chiefs descended from Eliphaz and Edom. They were grandsons of Ada. God, dog, this stuff is killing my brain. Oh, woo. Anyway, the sons of Esau's son Reuel, chiefs Nahath, Zerah, Shema, and Mizah. These were the chiefs descended from Reuel in Edom, or Edom. They were grandsons of Esau's wife Besemeth. The sons of Esau, excuse me, the sons of Esau's wife Oholibamah, chiefs Jush, Jalam, and Korah. These were the chiefs descended from Esau's wife Oholibamah, daughter of Anna. These were the sons of Esau, and these were their chiefs. These were the sons of Seir. I'm gonna say Seir. These were the sons of Seir the Horite, Horite, uh, who were living in the region: Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishan, Ezer, and Dishan. So there's a Dishan, Dishon. Then there's another one, Dishan. Sounds like the same to me. Dishan. I'm gonna say Dishan. These sons of Sheir in Edom were Horite chiefs. The sons of Lotan, Hori and Homam. Timna was Lotan's sister. The sons of Shobal, God, dog, these names are forever. Well, we halfway through them. The sons of Shobal, Alvan, Alvan, Manahath, Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. The sons of Zibeon, Aya, and Anna. This is the Anna who discovered the hot springs in the desert while he was grazing the donkeys of his father Zibeon. The children of Anna, Dishan and Oholibamah, daughter of Anna. The sons of Dishan, Hemda, Eshban, Ithran, and Keran. The sons of Ezer, Bilhan, Zavan, Zaavan, and Akan. The sons of Dishan, remember? The sons of Dishan, Uz and Aran, Aran. These were the Horite chiefs: Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishan, Ezer, and Dishan. These were the Horite chiefs according to their divisions in the land of Seir. Verse 31. I think we're done with the names. Oh my God. These were the kings who reigned in Edom before any Israelite king reigned. Okay, maybe not. Bela, Bela, son of Beor, Beor, became king of Edom. His city was named Dinhabah, Dinhabah, Dinhabah. When Bela died, Jobab, Jobab, son of Zerah from Bozrah, succeeded him as king. When Jacob died, Husham, literally Husham, Husham from the land of the Temanites succeeded him as king. When Husham died, Hadad, son of Bedad, who defeated Midian in the country of Moab, succeeded him as king. His city was named Avith, or whatever. When Hadad died, Samlah from Masreka succeeded him as king. When Samlah died, Shaul from Rehoboth on the river succeeded him as king. When Shaul died, Baal-Hanan, son of Akbor, succeeded him as king. When Baal-Hanan, son of Akbor, died, Hadad succeeded him as king. His city was named Pau, P-A-U. Really? P-A-U. Where is it? Oh, there it is. And his wife's name was Mehetabel. Mehetabel is what I'm gonna stick with. Mehetabel, daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mizahab. These were the chiefs descended from Esau by name according to their clans and regions. Oh my God. Help me, please help me. Timnah, I can't read. Timnah, Alba, Jetheth, Oholibama, Elah, Pinon, Kenaz, Timon, Mibzar, Magdiel, and Iram, I-R-A-M. These were the chiefs of Edom according to their settlements in the land they occupied. Goodness gracious, y'all. Let's get through these names. This is the family line of Esau, the father of the Edomites. Chapter 37. Jacob lived in the land where his father had stayed in the land of Canaan. This is the account of Jacob's family line. Why are we going back? Whatever. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending the flocks with his brothers. The sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and he brought their father a bad report about them. These long verses, I swear. Verse 3. Now Jacob to Israel, that's the Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons, because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made an ornate, O-R-N-A-T-E, robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. This is kind of the baby of the family type deal. Parents show more love to the baby than the older ones. I get it. Typical stuff. So verse 5. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it." His brother said to him, "Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. Verse 9. Some long verses, I swear. Verse 9. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. "Listen," he said, "I had another dream, and this time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me." 10. When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, "What is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. His brothers were jealous, but his father was like, it don't sound right, but all right, for now, no proof. Verse 12. Now his brothers had gone to graze his father's flocks, near Shechem, and Israel said to Joseph, as you know, your brothers are grazing the flocks near Shechem. Come, I am going to send you to them. Very well, he replied. So he said to him, go see if all is well with your brothers and with the flocks, and bring word back to me. Then he sent him off from the valley of Hebron. When Joseph arrived at Shechem, a man found him wandering around in the fields and asked him, what are you looking for? He replied, I'm looking for my brothers. Can you tell me where they are grazing their flocks? They have moved on from here, the man answered. I heard them say, let's go to Dothan, Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them near Dothan, or whatever. But they saw him in the distance, and before he reached them, they plotted to kill him. Whoa, that's some serious hate. Here comes that dreamer. Here comes that dreamer. They said to each other. Come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns. Cisterns. Cisterns, whatever sterns. And say that a ferocious animal devoured him. Then we'll see what comes of his dreams. When Reuben heard this, he tried to rescue him from their hands. Let's not take his life, he said. Don't shed any blood. Throw him into this cistern here in the wilderness, but don't lay a hand on him. Reuben said this to rescue him from them and take him back to his father. So when Joseph came, so this is verse 23. So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe, the ornate robe he was wearing, and they took him and threw him in the cistern. The cistern was empty. There was no water in it. As they sat down to eat their meal, they looked up and saw a caravan. It's pretty much spelled like that. Caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead. Their camels were loaded with spices, balm, and myrrh, Myrrh, and they were on their way to take them down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, what will we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood. His brothers agreed. So when the Midianite merchants came by, his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the cistern, and sold him for 20 shekels of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the cistern and saw that Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes. Okay, I guess he was just that mad. I don't know. Anyway, verse 30. He went back to his brothers and said, the boy isn't there. Where can I turn now? Then they got Joseph's robe, slaughtered a goat, and dipped the robe in blood. They took the ornate robe back to their father and said, we found this. Examine it to see whether it is your son's robe. He recognized it and said, it is my son's robe. Some ferocious animal has devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. No, he said, I will continue to mourn until I join my son in the grave. So his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, 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 one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard. That was the end of 37. Let's go to 38. At that time, Judah left his brothers and went down to stay with a man of Adullam, Adullam, named Hira. There Judah met the daughter of a Canaanite named Shua, Shua. He married her and made love to her. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son who was named E-R. She conceived again and gave birth to a son named Onan, O-N-A-N. She gave birth to still another son and named him Shelah, S-H-E-L-A-H. It was at Kezib, K-E-Z-I-B, that she gave birth to him. Judah got a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar, T-A-M-A-R. But Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death. Goodness. Wonder how old he got before he got put to death. Anyway, then Judah said to Onan, sleep with your brother's wife and fulfill your duty to her as a brother-in-law to raise up offspring for your brother. But Onan knew that the child would not be his, so whenever he slept with his brother's wife, he spilled his semen on the ground to keep from providing offspring for his brother. That's what's up. King pull out. 10. God, it's just verse 10. We deep off in chapter 38. Anyway, what he did was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death also. Goodness, we just knocking him off, ain't we, God? Goodness gracious. Judah then said to his daughter-in-law, Tamar, live as a widow in your father's household until my son Shelah grows up, for he thought he may die too, just like his brothers. So Tamar went to live with her father's household. After a long time, Judah's wife, the daughter of Shua, died. When Judah had recovered from his grief, he went up to Timnah to the men who were shearing his sheep, and his friend Hira, the Adullamite, went with him. When Tamar was told, your father-in-law is on his way to Timnah to shear his sheep, she took off her widow's clothes, covered herself with a veil to disguise herself, and then sat down at the entrance of Enaim, E-N-A-I-M, which is on the road to Timnah, for she saw that though Shelah had now grown up, she had not been given to him as his wife. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a prostitute. That's crazy. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a prostitute, for she had covered her face, not realizing that she was his daughter-in-law. He went over to her by the roadside and said, come now, let me sleep with you. Dang, that's how it is out there. Come here, girl. Come sit on this dick. And what will you give me to sleep with you? She asked. I'll send you a young goat from my flock, he said. Okay. Will you give me something as a pledge until you send it? She asked. He said, what pledge should I give you? Your seal and its cord and the staff in your hand, she answered. So he gave them to her, slept with her, and she became pregnant by him. After she left, she took off her veil and put on her widow's clothes again. Meanwhile, Judah sent the young goat by his friend, the Adullamite, in order to get his pledge back from the woman. But he did not find her. He asked the men who lived there, where is the shrine prostitute who was beside the road at Enaim? That word is confusing for me. There hasn't been any shrine prostitute here, they said. So he went back to Judah and said, I didn't find her. Besides, the men who lived there said, there hasn't been any shrine prostitute here. Then Judah said, let her keep what she has, or we will become a laughingstock. After all, I did send her this young goat, but you didn't find her. About 3 months later, Judah was told, your daughter-in-law, Tamar, is guilty of prostitution. Wow. And as a result, she is now pregnant. Judah said, bring her out and have her burned to death. Goodness gracious. As she was being brought out, she sent a message to her father-in-law. I am pregnant by the man who owns these, she said. And she added, see if you recognize whose seal and cord. Focus leaving me, y'all. See if you recognize whose seal and cord and staff these are. Judah recognized them and said, she is more righteous than I, since I wouldn't give her to my son Shelah, and he did not sleep with her again. She must have had that trash box. He didn't want to do it no more. Verse 27. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. As she was giving birth, one of them put out his hand. So the midwife took a scarlet thread and tied it on his wrist and said, this one came out first. But then he drew back his hand. His brother came out and she said, so this is how you have broken out. This is how you have broken out. And he was named Perez, Perez. Then his brother, who had the scarlet thread on his wrist, came out, and he was named Zerah. Zerah. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna leave that where that's at. That was the end of chapter 38. I said we'll try to make it to 40, but we'll get there. So don't worry. Patience. Let's see what all we got. The Tamar chick, I don't know what's going on with her. Who was it that she slept with? Judah. Sick shit. That's all I'm saying. That's some sick shit. Yeah, Joseph and his brothers, first off, they wanted to kill him because they was hating on him. That's just weird. But then also they wanted to sell him instead of killing him, which is even more weird. All because they was hating. I don't know. It's not a favorite of mine. That's all I'm saying. Fuck all them names. Like, bruh. I swear, I hope I never have to do that again. All of them names, they were descendants of Esau, right? Yeah. No, forget them. Yeah, that'll do for this episode of the Bible. That was chapter 35 through 38. We're gonna continue with chapter 39. Everybody, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. We're gonna catch you next time. Until then, peace. Gonna give me something to drink.